Hi guys, it's me. Hi guys, it's me, Jimmy, a geek. So the question is that should you become a UI UX designer or should you just become a genuine web developer? First, you have to define what is UI UX designer. Everybody know web developer is a guy who just code, who do the web design, who do the web development stuff, whether it's front end or back end. Basically he design, he build website, web application. But UI UX designer do not do that. It's UI UX designer is a new basically field which to be honest with you not well defined. A UI UX designer most of the time he know HTML, CSS and then JavaScript. Basically he's a web designer, but he knows some extra stuff which make him UI UX designer. A UI UX designer is basically he know how to build a website. Don't make me think if you don't know the book called Don't Make Me Think, well, make sure you check it out. Basically it's a concept or design. Basically there's a testing phase, like one tab is big, one tab is small, one tab is really very small, one tab have a bigger border. That is called testing. A UI UX designer have to know the customer, the user, the guy, the person who are browsing their website, which likely to click on that tab. Basically it's kind of science how a user interact. It's a science how to make stuff easy, but still there's really very little UI UX design and what, to be honest with you, very little. If you are really good UI UX designer, Yahoo, Google, this company will definitely hire you without any degree. I mean they are after UI UX designer, but the people always get UI UX designer wrong. UI UX designer first they need to learn how to build website, then come on. I'm not saying that, to be honest with you, I never see in my whole life a UI UX designer without no knowledge of HTML, CSS or just using Dreamweaver to build websites. It's very hard. You have to have the fundamental of the web design, web development, then you can think. Basically UI UX designer job is, for example, should I put JavaScript book like this or like this? If I do like this, for example CSS3 at front and JavaScript back, the customer which book likely to buy, this one or this one? For example, do orange color affect the user or customer or the purple affect? There is a science I have learned a little bit UI UX design, like a red color. In Europe, they do not like to use a red color. It means that, but normally in Hong Kong we usually use the purple color. 60 designer have the concept. There is a color, which color affect the mood, like in a shopping cart. For example, if you're using a black background, will the customer buy, or the white background is buy? It's basically science. Everybody hates science with passion. Science is really hard, but UI UX design is one of the very easy stuff to grasp, but still the people are lacking. Even me, you really need a lot of interest. You have a mindset of creative thinking. A lot of web developers do not have the creative thinking mindset. That is a fact. No one want to speak or accept them. We need more programmer creative. The guy who graduated for computer science, he is not creative. He can understand algorithm, everything, but creative mind comes from art. To be honest with you, I will say if someone is teaching web development in college or university, they must include some kind of class for design or art which make our mind creative, like this one. For example, this is a beautiful website, and this is built on a UI UX principle. You can see this fully. Basically they're using the same color, everything. My personal opinion is that become a web developer, then just pick up some UI UX designer book and then make sure you buy that. Don't make me think. Basically start testing and then see the result. Basically you need some kind of measurement for testing the UI UX design. If you build something, you have to see, for example, the small, for example, how to in a easy word, I want to say, for example, like a small tab, the customer will click or no, the small buy button, the customer click or no, how responsive is the website, how all that kind of fundamental. Again I will say, become a web designer, web developer first, then pick up the UI UX designer and start testing. So I mean within 1 year maybe you need a lot of experience for UI UX designer, to be honest with you. It's not just based on your portfolio, it's based on a measurement. You have to, for example, show some result. For example, you are using the red buy button, suddenly you change to like green buy button, your sales 50%, and you have to measure it. For example, you try to go to Google and get a job, they want what is your portfolio in a department of measure, not in department of website. You have to show some kind of fact, some kind of number to prove that you have changed or you have tweaked this one. Suddenly the sales skyrocket. Yes, UI UX designer very valuable. I will definitely hire a guy basically who is a little bit poor at building website, but he has solid knowledge of UI UX designer. I will just basically ask for the information. Even I will tell him you don't need to code, just lay out a strategy which kind of stuff will work. But do not get me, do not think that Jimmy is saying that you really don't need to know how to code. Yes, you need to know how to code, but I'm saying there is a huge demand for UI UX designer. Unluckily, to be honest with you, even the bootcamp do not teach UI UX designer, UI UX design principle like accessibility, usability, all that kind of ability stuff. I mean, I really don't know why the hell they are not putting this in our curriculum. I mean, it's really important, but still a lot of websites are built on ugly principle. They are no responsive, the navigation buggy, you are lost in a website, don't know where to go. That's where UI UX designer come. Okay, I think that's all for this question. Become a web designer or web developer and then start handwritten UI UX designer principle. Start with the Don't Make Me Think book. I think it's written by Steve or some whatever Steve guy written by. I love that book a lot. Maybe I will review that book, especially for the UI UX designer guys who want to buy that book. Subscribe to my channel. It's me, Geek. Bye bye.